Okay. Did that come out loud? The recording thing? Okay, good. Excuse me. My name is Peter Politis. I'm the executive director at Dallas Center for Photography. A lot of you are local. You know who we are. You've seen our website, or you wouldn't have been able to submit to the show. But we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we have a gorgeous gallery that has been dark for a year. We've done one or two other online only exhibitions, and we are super excited to be back in the gallery with this show. So I know I'm chomping at the bit to get back in and actually look at pictures hanging on the wall. It's something we talk about a lot, about getting pictures out of a device and onto print. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but you'd be surprised how many people, don't do that. We were introduced to John in 2019 by Sarah Sutoff at Texas Photographic Society. She thought John would be a good candidate for our ongoing collaborative speaker program, and maybe to do an exhibit of the work. And Sarah was dead on this one. From our first meeting, it was obvious that John had documentary photography in his blood, which it turned out was literal, because his father, Bank Langmore, was a well-known cowboy photographer in the 70s. So that apple did not fall far from the tree. One look at John's website, and I'm going to share this real quick. One look at his website makes it really clear that John is the real deal. Somebody who can create order and beauty out of chaos, often from horseback. And he can relay the story from the inside of a breed of people, these cowboys, who are usually hidden from view. His images of working cowboys were a revelation. And to have these images actually hanging in the gallery were really, really something. So if you didn't make the show, go check out his website. And then we found out that he had also produced a feature-length film. And so we had him at DCP twice, once at the opening of his show, and the other to screen his film, Cowboys, a Documentary Portrait. And if you haven't seen the film yet, then when we're done here and you have dinner, go to Amazon or Apple and rent one of the best films I've seen, you're going to see in a long time. And I'm not exaggerating. It's one of those documentaries that takes you into a world you've never been into and leaves you just like, holy crap, how did that even get done? And his stills are worked through the movie. So I highly, highly, highly recommend seeing that. John was gracious enough to make time in his schedule to judge this competition. And light is something that John's been wrangling with, I would imagine, all of his photographic life. So I'm just going to let him do the rest of the talking for tonight. So John, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. You're always way too kind to me, but I can tell all of you out there that, having someone like Peter in your corners is a real, it's a great feeling. And I hope all of you get to a place where you have a person like Peter that, really takes to your work. It's so rewarding, makes all the effort worthwhile. And I would also, I know that you're all familiar with the Dallas Center for Photography, but it's a good chance for me to thank Peter and Becca and Courtney and everyone that works there, because we had an Austin Center for Photography for a while. And so I was the president for a period of time. I am fully aware of how much work goes into all of these things. And it takes just a deep passion to benefit the people that make and appreciate photographs. And so, thank God for the Dallas Center for Photography and folks like all of them that do that for our benefit. And this amazing group of work assembled, is a great example of, one of the big benefits of Peter and Becca's and everyone's efforts. So let me say at the outset that I don't think of myself as a judge of this work. I really don't consider myself, in a place to judge other people's work. I only selected images that spoke to me. So it was such like I do not need to be thanked for this because it was such a huge pleasure to go through this work. I mean, you can see behind me, you know, one of my favorite things to do is to go through photo books. I just do it all the time. It's not only does it, you know, expand my view of photography and greatly improve my own photography, I just love it. And so I loved going through all of the 500 images that were submitted. There was, you know, almost all of it was fantastic. And I was super impressed with the quality of the work that was submitted. Makes me realize how many great photographers there really are out there. So let me just say real quickly, like how I, you know, selected the images that I did. I hope there are some people on here whose images might not have been selected, and I'll you know, say why in a second. All of the winners, you know, and everyone that was selected absolutely deserved to have their work as part of this. I would also say to all those folks whose images might not have been selected, so it's 40 out of 500, so many of them could have just as easily been selected. And it's, you know, it might turn on the mood at the point that my mood when I was looking at it, did it remind me of some image that I loved as a child, you know? So it's, please don't, you know, it is in no way whatsoever a reflection on the quality of the work for those images that didn't make it into the show, although all of the ones that did, as I mentioned, totally deserve to be there. And so here's an important thing that, you know, I try and live by that, but that also guided me when I was looking at this. So this is a letter, you can't really see it, but it was written in 1971 by Minor White. And this is the original. It was written to the gentleman that printed for my father, a guy named Ron Evans. And I'm not sure what Ron had written to Minor White. And if you don't know who Minor White is, right after this, you should go look him up. He was a great photographer through the 70s, an amazing educator, but mainly an amazing photographer. But he says, perhaps I can explain the meaning of the sentence, quote, evaluation comes to be based on an experience of the image, not an opinion of it, end quote. What I'm trying to say with this sentence and its context is that most people will have an opinion of a photograph before they've experienced it deeply enough to be called an experience. Consequently, I'm trying to ask people to really experience a photograph before they form their opinions. This means to withhold the immediate, instantaneous, critical evaluation until the whole photograph has been understood. A considered, quote, opinion is quite different than an off the top of the head opinion. With best wishes, sincerely, Minor White, Professor of Photography, Massachusetts Institute of Photography. So that is, I took that to heart. And Minor White, by the way, was considered someone that, like a real early leader on the way to view and think about photography. So I tried to do that. But what I will say is that I tried to take it one step further, especially for those of you that submitted multiple images, because to me, you know, anyone can take a great photograph. But what is so difficult to do is to do that consistently. You know, you could almost accidentally take a great photograph with your iPhone, but you have to be a good photographer to do that consistently. So I tried to take Minor's statement and apply it to the photographer as well. So I really looked at, you know, the whole of the images that you submitted, because I'd much rather speak to a great photographer than just a single image that someone happened to capture. So all of you that are in here know that for those of you especially that submitted multiple images, I really paid attention albeit it was a very small body of work, to your body of work. I also obviously worked hard to incorporate light into the selections. That was the theme of this whole process, and light together with composition and a few other elements is one of the things that makes a great photograph. So it's definitely worthwhile to pull out light as like a featured aspect of images in choosing them for an exhibition. So although there were some other really great photographs in there, light might not have been quite as prominent as some others, and so they didn't come into it as well. So let me quickly say, we do not have that long tonight. So I suspect we might not get through all of the photographs, although I'm going to try. So I'll move through them fairly quickly, make a few comments. I'll also ask some of the photographers I'll ask them some questions because I'm very curious about all of the work for sure, but there's a few things I might ask the photographer to speak. You'll have to be pretty quick, sadly. But what I hope you do, for any of you that can, is to make it to the opening where we can carry on this conversation, at much greater length. I'm going to be there. It is an amazing gallery, and you will appreciate seeing your work displayed and lit the way that they do it at DCP. It is top notch by any measure. And the last thing I would say is that I hope all of you put great effort into making your prints. I could talk for an hour just about, the value of prints and how important it is, I think, to view photography as a print as opposed to simply online, and especially for younger folks. So I hope you put, as much attention into making your print as you did into making your photographs. So with that, Peter, why don't we start off? All right. Yeah, Alexa J, great photograph. A quote from Minor White is, "The essential core of both verse and photography is poetry." Very poetic image. And it's funny that your title is The Chosen One and that it was, in fact, The Chosen One. So, hey, Alexa J, I know you do a lot of, and by the way, I went to a lot of y'all's websites and looked at your work to get a better sense of y'all as photographers. So Alexa J, why don't you quickly tell us what's going on here? I know you do a lot of concert and music work, and this one seemed to me a little bit different from the rest of your work. So maybe you can quickly tell us, what's going on here and how you made this.
Yeah, hi everyone. Well, I just want to say hi. I'm so glad to be a part of this. So thank you so much. Yeah, I do a lot of music and concerts and stuff, but I also do a lot of fashion too. And this was actually so I actually just graduated from Savannah College of Art and Design this past weekend. So this was actually a fashion shoot that I was on. And the building that we were in, just the way that the light was pouring through some of the bay windows that were towards the top of the walls was just absolutely stunning. So I decided to do something that the fashion designer didn't necessarily ask me to do, and ended up with this. So
well, it's really beautiful. I mean, clearly, you did something great with light, and it's a beautiful gesture. And it made me want to know what was going on there. So beautiful shot. Congratulations on The Chosen One, and also on graduation. So yeah, beautiful work. And I look forward to seeing, more of your work as the years go by.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
You bet. All right. Oh, let's see. Can I now? Let me see. I think I might be able to do this. Yeah. Okay. Craven, another a beautiful shot. I know you've also got Sanctuary in here. And And this is a little, the way this is lit is different than the way I viewed it originally. I'll be anxious to see the print, but you know, a beautiful landscape. And I really tried to make sure that I didn't just tend to, you know, lean towards my own style of photography, because I'm horrible at landscapes. You know, I could never take this, but beautiful shot, as was Sanctuary. Craven, I'm curious, you know, you said in your notes how you do this. You might quickly, you know, say how you got these shots kind of up on high, you know, very dramatic. Can't see you there. I don't know if we can hear you. I saw you earlier.
Can you hear you guys?
Yeah, there you go. We can hear you. Can't see you.
I'm banished to the backyard. My wife's on an important call, so the reception's bad. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the acknowledgement on these. I honestly, yeah, I don't share much work except on Instagram, so it's cool. These are lit by LEDs. You know, I use depending on the shot, like industrial lights powered by a generator. Also depends on the actual scene, if it's large enough to warrant that, or a drone with LED lights that I rigged on there. So it just depends on the scene. I go to Palo Duro a couple times a year. There's something about that Spanish skirt rock that I like a lot, and you know, and I know it well, so it's easy for me to get around and find cool terrain. So yeah.
You know, it's I know that's a lot of work to haul a generator and LEDs out to make photographs. So you know, your work
is fun.
Yeah. And I know we have another image of Palo Duro Canyon that's totally different, but also in here. So yeah, no, really beautiful work. You should share it beyond Instagram, and I hope this is, you know, a starting point for you. So again, congratulations. All right, yeah, David, just a classically beautiful shot. And I will say it reminds me a lot of Minor White's work. And also Brett Weston. I don't know.
Oh, yes, that I was, Brett Weston is the man for me. So
yeah, okay, good. Well, then, you know, his influence comes through in your work. And I know that you're also shooting on film, right? Because you said this was gelatin silver.
Yeah. Oh, this was taken in 1969.
Oh, wow. Huh. And is this, I see the little light around the corners. Is this, did you photograph a print?
Yeah, that's, yes. And like I say, that negative is very old. I was very pleased when I dug it out of the files last week that it was undamaged, because I did not store things well back then. But I've been making more prints of it, so because I just have one good print, two really bad ones.
Yeah. Oh, so you're still printing in a dark room?
Yes.
Oh, good for you. Are you in your dark room?
That's where I'm sitting, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought that was, I couldn't tell if it was a tool shed or a dark room, but now I see, yeah. Well, God bless you for still working with film. And, you know, I look forward to, I'm assuming you're sending a print in for the show?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, good. I'll look forward to seeing it on the wall. Yeah, beautiful work. You know, obviously just a classically beautiful use of light, and I'm sure it's beautiful printed. And if Brett Weston inspires you, it comes through. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. Yeah, Daniel, I hope you're familiar with Gary Winogrand's work in the zoo. Just a really amazing body of work. Daniel might not be with us today. I don't see him popping up, but yeah, just, you know, a really beautifully composed image, you know, again, reminds me of a body of work that I really love. And by the way, I also meant to say on Craven, on your work, it reminds me of Gregory Crewdson's work a little bit. If you're not familiar with his work, you might take a look.
Okay, thank you.
Joyce, I don't know if you're on, and just a beautiful shot, beautifully composed, really evokes feelings. And I am curious if it was, if you shot it just like that. Joyce might not be here, although I thought I saw her.
Oh, I am here.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't know people's names were showing up earlier. So is this, did you shoot through a window and that was the scene behind the window, or did you combine two images?
I didn't combine two images. This is shot as is, but she's in front of the window and she's drawing on it.
Yeah.
And the window is fogged up.
Yeah, a big window, and that's a very beautiful backdrop.
Yeah, it's outside our dining room.
Oh, it is. Well, it goes to show you that, a great photograph can be found anywhere if you're open to it. Yeah, no, beautiful shot, Joyce.
Thank you.
I don't know if Kathleen's on, but I love humor in photographs. Just, it really, I always love, Elliot Erwitt was the king of that. But the fact that you're watching cartoons late at night shows you have a sense of humor. And the fact that you pushed the shutter when that image was on the screen, also.
It was very nostalgic for me. That's
okay. Yeah, must be further indicative of a good sense of humor. But yeah, again, I don't know if that's your living room or.
It's in Taos, New Mexico. I spend a month there every year.
Okay.
It's a little casita, and it's, that room is like really dark and dreary. And when I turned on those lights and turned on the TV, this was on.
Yeah, no, all the patterns that it casts. And again, to me, it's just, indicative of the fact that, there are great photos to be found everywhere. So yeah, no, and I genuinely appreciate that
Thank
sense
you.
of humor. So let's see if this is gonna bathe. Yeah, no. So this is Ashley. This is another one to me that earlier quote I said about, poetry, the essential core of both verse and photography is poetry, applies here. Beautiful gesture, everything is just right. The shadow of the hand on the wall, the water, the spray below the wrist. It's, you just, push the shutter at just the right moment. It's simple, but it's poetic and beautiful. And I love a simple photograph that evokes a feeling the way this one does. Jessica, I don't think Jessica's on. I think it'd be early in the morning for her. Jessica, are you on? Okay, I knew someone was from overseas, but I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Jonas Bendixson. He's a Magnum photographer, and he's got a book called Satellites. And this so reminds me of the cover photograph, which is really fantastic, but it's ash that's falling through the sky. But, and I'm not sure, I assume Jessica shot this with a flash, so the light really makes it all pop, but it's just a beautiful moment. Shauna, great. Is Shauna on? I wish she was. She had some really, all of her work was super beautiful. And, I just love this photograph. It, wouldn't be what it is without that beam of light on the finger, which is why to me it's so fit in light. But Shauna had a whole body of work that's, she's a really great photographer. There's a whole bunch of them. I actually think at one point I had chosen a few of them and was told that I need to enlarge the group because I didn't know whose work was whose. So yeah, just, great use of depth of field, a really beautiful moment, everything that makes a photograph great, super well composed. Yeah. All right, Peter, it's not advancing for me now. Yep, no, I can't advance. And by the way, this, Peter? I'm not hearing anybody.
Go ahead and click twice outside the picture again.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, this reminds me, she does a lot of work of her family, reminds me of Sally Mann's work with her family. Yeah, you know, beautifully seen, beautifully composed photograph. My God, if I was going through a contact sheet and came across that one, you know, I'd get it printed right away. Beautiful. Kyler, are you on here? I can't remember if I saw Kyler on here. So Kyler does a lot of, you know, fashion work, you know, a lot of pregnant women. I saw this on her website with African Americans. This was a bit different than her regular work. And she had like 4 or 5 images that looked almost more documentary. And this was one of them. Really thought it was a very compelling image, one of those that makes you wonder what's going on. And as were several of those others. So Kyler, if you happen to be on here, I hope you keep up with what might be your documentary work. Oops, stopped advancing again. Hugh, if you're on, you know, just beautifully seen. You know, I hope it wasn't a chance photograph and it was one that you went out to go find, you know, because you got to be out there to get photographs like that. You got to be up early in the morning to get that. And I admire all the work that goes into making beautiful photographs like this. Randall, is Randall on?
Randall is here, but he doesn't have a camera or a mic, but he is here.
Well, all right, Randall, I was curious about whether or not if you shot this on film. Yeah, so that was great shot. Love the light reflecting on that roadway. You know, doesn't need to be filmed, but be great if it was. And it looks like by the edge of the print that it might have been. Yeah, love the light hitting the road. No, not on film, digital. Well, okay, you know, fair enough. He just put a comment in the chat there. Chapman, you know, classic use of light and shadow. Beautiful, beautiful moment. And, you know, if there was a tiny bit of that dog in that shadow when you make that print, I think that would be awesome. But obviously you print it the way you want it to be seen. Harriet, is Harriet on the call?
Yes, I am from
Yeah,
London.
hey Harriet, well, welcome. What time is it for you?
It's just gone midnight.
Just gone midnight. God bless you for staying up.
I wasn't going to miss this.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, it's a beautiful shot. You know, it's one of those ones that I'm assuming it was some type of something for, you know, people that have died, some type of event like that. Is that right?
Yes, so they did 2 events at the Tower of London, one which was to mark the beginning of the First World War in 1914, and then this picture was taken at the event that they did to mark the end of the war in 1918. So it was the centenary when I took the picture in 2018. And they had the yeoman warders, who are the military there, who are the guards in the Tower of London, and they had them lighting every night for 1 week. They lit 10,000 flames. Wow. To mark as a symbol of remembrance for those that had given their lives during the war.
Well, it's a beautiful shot, and I love the way, you know, the ones down below the shadow almost look like fireflies, and you know, it evokes real feeling, very consistent with the event that you were witnessing. So
it was very moving. Yes. Yeah,
no, well, it's a moving photograph, so well done, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you very much.
You bet. Yeah, Craven, we've already spoken, you know, a really beautiful shot, man. You definitely, you know, with all the effort you go to, I hope you do more than, you know, just post this stuff on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing it printed. We talked about,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We talked about yours. Your first shot was in Paladura Canyon. Here's another one. I don't know, Joe, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, thanks a lot.
What's that? A beautiful shot, and you know, it's obviously it's abstract. I wouldn't have, you know, might have surmised it was a sunrise from the light at the bottom, but you know, it's a beautiful abstract image, and we have a few of them in here, and I was curious how you made it.
So it's a long exposure, you know, with intentional camera movement, and in this case was like a horizontal pan and kind of a quick downward movement to kind of capture that light there. It's a single exposure.
Yeah, well done, man. That really turned out beautifully. It's another one that I look forward to seeing printed, and I hope you know, put as much effort into printing it as you did to making it, as I said earlier. So yeah, congratulations on a beautiful shot.
Hey, thank you very much.
You bet. Yeah, Nancy, you know, really well seen. Friday Night Lights, you know, what Texan wouldn't appreciate that, but, you know, beautifully composed, nice light, you know, you were at just the right angle for those majorettes or whatever they are, where there's just, you know, all the arms line up and the hats just have that little bit of separation. Beautiful shot. William, a great shot, kind of, although his was in black and white, there's a Robert Frank shot with a prominent palm tree in it that this kind of brought to mind for me. And I'm curious, was if you're on, was the color of the sky and that wall and kind of the fencing and all of that really that uniform? Is William with us? Maybe not, but yeah, no, it's a very beautiful image. Same with this, David. Talk about, you know, beauty and simplicity. This is it. Yeah, I just, you know, admire the fact that you saw something so simple and, you know, took the time to make a photograph of it, that you saw that, and that, you know, you submitted it. You saw enough in it to submit it into this, you know, this jury exhibition, because it's a beautiful shot, very well seen. Yeah, I assume it's Luis. Is Luis on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Luis, yeah, great shot. I can't remember, is this on film or digital, or did you even say?
It's digital. It was in La Jolla in the Black Beach. That area is amazing. I was kind of looking for a shot like this for a while. We love to go there, but the difficult part is the beach is always crowded, and I was trying to find this person alone. This is when the sunset, the light rays hit the beach, and you see all this. It's like the beach is on fire.
Yeah. Well,
that area.
Your patience paid off. That's a really beautiful shot. It's another one I really, you know, it reminds me also of like some Brett Weston type of work. You know, he shot a lot around the California coast, and it's reminiscent of that. It's a beautiful image, and again, I look forward to seeing it printed. So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Kyla's on, but you know, I can just picture her laying down on her back, shooting up through that. And, you know, of course, with there's a bit of unrest in Turkey, there has been of late, and, you know, light in the darkest of times. I wonder if it's not a bit of a political statement. But it's a beautifully seen, beautifully composed shot. Bridie, I saw you. Is it Bridie? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's Bridie.
Yeah, I don't know which of the two of you was, which one's Bridie? Okay, hey. You had a bunch of great shots.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much. I'm
There
really
were several I thought, I could have easily chosen. This is really, I hope that when you saw this, you were really pleased. Like if I take a shot like that, when I get it, I'm always so happy. It's just such a beautiful moment.
Yep. Right as I was like going through my photos, I like took a picture of it as I was editing and sent it to him, and I was like, I freaking love this.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So kind of like me. Well, it's a great shot. And yeah, no, you had some beautiful work. So definitely, I assume you will be sure and stick with it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations. I don't know if KJ's on, and, another one where had a real body of work that was very compelling. And I just kind of chose one from it. Again, a bit of humor in this shot, I suspect.
Thank you.
Oh, so KJ, yeah. You're on good. Was this posed? I'm assuming it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was for my semester final that I was working on. So it was a series of I think 16 total in this style.
I see. So were those all the ones you submitted were all in conjunction with your final?
Oh no, those were, I think this was the only one from that project, and I took from a couple different projects.
Got it. Well, you had a bunch of great work in there. This was one of those images that even knowing, not like photography that's posed is every bit as compelling as, candid photography. And sometimes I think it requires you have more layers of what you have to think through to create a great photograph. And there's a woman that someone on here knows who it is. She's become real big of late, and she poses these very elaborate photographs. Do you know who I'm talking about? She's a big name. I'll think of it, maybe it'll come to me before we get off, but it'd be work I would direct you to that I think you'd find, inspirational. But yeah, cool shot. Great bit of humor, and all those images you submitted were really good. So keep it up. This one, David, I don't know if you're, no, it's not Cindy Sherman. Nice try. It's Alexa. I think it's Prager. It's that's who I was thinking of.
Alex Prager.
Alex Prager. Thank you.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, no, it's great work for sure. David, just beautifully seen. That's the type of photograph anyone, be proud to hang on their wall. The lights, the guy walking, the striping on the road lit. Beautiful shot. Liam, an awesome photographer who I don't know, but shooting with a Hasselblad with film, and probably, 10 yards from my office, as a matter of fact. Liam, are you on? Well, great work, but he had a whole series of photos like this, I think shot with a Hasselblad, so I'm assuming film. Very, very well done. Beautiful work. Another one I'm anxious to see printed. Stephen, classically beautiful image. Cartier-Bresson had a shot kind of like that, and it's not, classically beautiful is like high praise, not, I'm not like that should be taken as a great compliment. It's a beautiful shot, and it's not easy to make a photograph that looks that beautiful. John, same thing, really beauty and simplicity. Of course, that little moon in the sky really brings it all together. Just, admire the fact that you stopped to take that at that moment, that it turned out so well. Ashley, I love conceptual work. you submitted a number of conceptual images that some were pretty hilarious, that hamburger meat in a shoe. I thought they were all great. I can tell a lot of work went into this, and it's well lit. And, you know, I wish we had more time. I'd love to, hopefully, if you're a pretty good ways from Dallas, but if you make it into the show, I'd love to hear more about your project. Eric, another one, you know, just beautifully seen, shot, you know, well composed, well lit, you know, a great image. Suzanne, I don't know if Suzanne, are you on? Trying to be cognizant of time, and I know we're running short.
I unmuted myself. I'm on now.
Yeah. Hey, Suzanne.
Hey.
You know, really a kind of a fascinating image, and you know, I see the man's like in 3 different places. Curious how you did you shoot that digitally?
No, I shot it with a Rolleiflex on film, and I accidentally moved the camera. And
perfect. One of those.
I know when I saw it. I tried several times to get the angel in the right place, and I have 2 that I can live with. This one's my favorite.
Yeah, one of those serendipitous movements of the camera. We've all had them. I wondered if it might not have been on film and that you moved. So it's a.
Yeah. And then the dark room, I put the angel on. You know.
Says a lot. Beautiful image.
Thank you.
Sean's a buddy of mine. I didn't know this was Sean's work. When I saw it, he's an amazing photographer, had several images, great images in here. Sean, I'm assuming you shot this on film, right?
Actually, this is iPhone, John.
Oh, really?
An enlarged negative and platinum print, so an analog print, but originally from iPhone.
Oh, yeah, no, God, it just, I mean, it goes to show you that the technology, the camera does not matter. You know, if you can make an image and a print like that from an iPhone. But, you know, when I saw you post this on Facebook, it reminds me of Fukase's Ravens work, which if any of y'all on here haven't seen the book Ravens, they did a reprint. You couldn't afford a first edition. They did a reprint. It's worth buying. It's amazing. And this is, you know, it was all shot in Japan, by the way, Ravens. And, you know, Sean's was shot in Kyoto. With an iPhone. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, great shot, as was that other one of the woman looking out the window. I don't remember if you had more than that.
Yeah, that one was film. I usually shoot film, but I also use my iPhone like a sketch pad. And this was one of the ones that the sketch pad was where the life was. So
yeah. No. Well, awesome. I can't wait to see the print. I know it's already printed, so it'll be fun to see it. Hope you're going to make it down there. It'll be good to catch up.
Thank you.
All right. Sam, hey, the only question, great shot, you know, I can tell he was twirling things around, beautiful use of light, you know, I love the look on his face. Is that flash, I can tell it was taken of a print. Sam, if you're on, was the flash, is that part of the image itself? Or is that from you taking your shot of the print? Oh, no Sam. I actually kind of hope it's part of the image and not a reflection. Maureen, is Maureen on? Yeah, it's, you know, I shoot film. I love classic photography, obviously, by the people that I reference, but I also love folks like Maggie Taylor, you know, that digitally manipulate things. I think that's every bit as creative and artistic as, you know, people that shoot with film and just walk straight to the darkroom and make as good a print as they can. And Maureen had a bunch of really compelling shots of animals that she had composed like this. Paula, great shot, funny. White Rock Lake is where my dad started his, you know, took some of his very first photographs. And I'm sure that it's a beautiful photograph, period.
Thank you.
It took me back to my own childhood, both being around White Rock Lake and, you know, looking at my dad's photographs taken there. Oh, there's Vera. So you're in from Turkey, right?
No, Vera's my partner. I'm on her laptop.
Oh, okay. So you're Paula.
I'm Paula. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember the name of the woman from Turkey. Yeah, no, great shot. You had several that I liked a lot. Yeah, beautiful work. And Matt, just, really what I don't know if you put that together or if you photographed something that was already there, but super well seen to move in and just make a shot that tight of a nose and lips. Really works.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is it, I don't know is it Nikhil? Okay, I'm not going to attempt his or her last name, but a number of images where shadow and light was really richly at play. And this one, I thought was especially powerful, but they all were. Some very good ones of photographers looking at their camera in their room, and great work. I must have a thing for railroad tracks. I kind of realized after the fact that I chose several with railroad tracks, and I think this one might have been another iPhone shot. Is Carrie on? Or is it
yes,
Carrie?
I am.
Hey, Carrie, was this an iPhone? Am I recalling right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, beautiful shot. You and Sean just kind of show, how, that you don't have to buy a Leica or a Hasselblad, even though they're amazing cameras and they make beautiful images. You can make a beautiful image with iPhone. Yeah, no, beautifully seen. Yeah, great. I can't wait to see it printed.
Thanks.
Let's see, it shut. Quit moving again. Marco, I know Marco's not on. He had a whole series of images like these, where like shot in where the architecture was super rich, like the angles and lines were, as powerful, like a really important part of the image. I love this one where the smoke came out into the blue and, all the rest of it is, the washed out white. Yeah, really strong, super strong body of work. This is indicative of all the rest of the images were this good as well. I think this is the last one. I think I saw Elizabeth on here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, hey Elizabeth, it was really beautiful, conceptual type work. I'm curious how you made this.
All right. Well, I'm very fascinated with light and always have been. And this is in camera. I mean, the light came in through, it was actually through a curtain this way. And then I just enhanced the color tone slightly, but not that much. So I'm from a film background, and I've always been fascinated with lens flare and using the lens to enhance that beauty that happens between, the optics and the light coming in. Yeah. So this was captured deliberately working with the actual lens flare.
Oh, well, yeah, no, it really works. I mean, it's,
thank you.
It has that kind of conceptual look, but it's really beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I admire what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think, is that it, Peter? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, I don't have anything more to say other than what a great bunch of work. Y'all are all to be so complimented on, what you saw and how you captured it. And, I hope I get a chance to meet lots of y'all at the opening. I'm going to get there kind of later in the day. I'm going to be at the tail end. I'm going to be coming home from a long motorcycle trip, so I might also be dirty and smell, but I'll be there, God willing. So, yeah, and again, Peter, thanks. Peter, Becca, everyone, thanks for putting this on, for hosting it, for raising the money to offer prizes, for collecting all of the work, hanging it. I just, as a photographer that's been the beneficiary of all of your work and your passion, you know, on behalf of all of us here, just thank you so much.
Thank you, John. This has been just a really great discussion, a great bunch of pictures. Before anybody signs off, we've got a little bit of business left. We're going to draw a number for one of the exhibition catalogs that we're doing. So we started doing the exhibition catalogs at the beginning of the pandemic in lieu of having an actual gallery show. And we liked them so much and the people liked them so much that we're going to continue doing them. So Becca, I think you've been tracking some numbers. What's the range of numbers? And then John is just going to grab a number. You're going to tell us who that is.
Yeah, John, pick a number between 1 and 40.
And this is the order in which they showed up, correct?
This is the order in which they showed up, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to pick 29 and hope they're on the line.
Joe Casey.
Is Joe with us?
Joe is here. Joe, you got a free exhibition catalog.
Hey, that's fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and all of y'all, by the way, you know, a catalog is another great thing. You know, seeing your images hung on a wall to me is the ultimate way to look at photography. The next best way is to see it printed in a book. So I hope you all, you know, get the catalog.
Yeah, it's great to be able to, it's a great brag book. I mean, it's nice to look back over it, but it's also really great to show it to friends and family. Also, great Christmas present. You could take care of it right now, not have to worry about it, you know, when the holidays come around. So did we have any questions, Becca?
No questions in the chat, but everybody was very complimentary of everybody's work.
Good.
Rightfully so. So
good. It was a good topic. We enjoyed putting this one out there. So thanks to everybody who submitted, and congratulations to those in the show. I hope you can make it. And if you can't make it to Dallas, if you know somebody in Dallas, let them come. You know, they can take a picture of themselves in front of your picture and send it to you. Thank you again to John. Remember that the in-person opening is June 19th, Juneteenth, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're doing timed entry. So just go to the website, put in the time that you want to show up. Also, please consider being a member of DCP, because that's how we continue to do programs like this. And we hope to see you at DCP soon. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Great to meet you all. Hope to meet you in person in the future. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks.
See you, Peter. See you, Becca.
All right. Bye, John.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's the long Zoom goodbye. I love this.
Don't want to leave.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to shut us down. Good night.